Hello Libra, this is your reading for the week of 26th of June to the 2nd of July 2022. Please keep in mind these are general readings and they might not resonate with everyone. I pre-shuffled your cards and I chose this rose quartz for you today. It's your stone and it feels like very much in alignment with the energies of next week. So let's start right in. Pre-shuffled cards. So this week it's going to be about the Six of Swords. So you're moving on from something that was potentially very painful. You're starting a new chapter. The Four of Cups. The Tower. The Two of Wands. The Eight of Wands. The Four of Swords. The Ace of Swords. The Ace of Cups. Can we see those? They're very down below, so let's make a bit more space here. So, better. The Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So it looks like you're moving on from something, letting go of a love situation probably, which I see here, which makes it all crumble, but it makes you go more determinedly into the future. There's a very clear communication. Then you retreat and rest. Look out for what's new. And investigate more into a certain situation. You have the Ace of Cups there, so there is a potential for true love. So at the moment I can't see, is it the same person or a different one? Right off the bat I would say it's a new person. It seems like you're receiving an offer of love, which comes quite surprisingly, with alongside with an offer of stability and a lot of abundance and wealth. But let's look deeper into this, how this is going to pan out. So first of all, have some clarification for the Six of Swords. We have the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, so this is a situation that was long overdue to resolve itself and to move on from. You've pondered from deep within from you, and yes, the wheel is turning in your favor and it needs to get going. And it does. You're moving on. So all these things tell you what you've known all along. It's time to move on from the past and move into the future. And you do this from a very thought through and aligned place. And it was long overdue by the looks of it. And a cup of 4 cups are being refused. You come from a place of the King of Pentacles in reverse and the Fool in reverse. So whatever energy is meeting you there, I feel inclined to say it's not even a person. It's more like circumstances. You feel like you have given enough in this and you do not want to invest any further in this situation you're moving on from. And neither does the world around you. No one wants to play the fool in this and just say, let's go happy-go-lucky. Everyone knows that this needs to end and this needs to be moved on from and refused. So it's very much a force that drives you out of a cycle. And but what is happening here with the Tower? You have the Five of Wands in reverse, so you don't want to fight for this anymore. You don't want to stop this anymore. And the Two of Cups in reverse. It looks like almost Is it a person or a specific situation? There's just nothing given. You're not going to struggle for anything anymore. And the other side is also not going to give you any love anymore for it. It feels like the situation is really done and it's just you're being processed through it, out of the situation. But you have the determination to take some sort of agency in this. With the star in reverse, like you see no more future and you want to make sure that this is really closed out of your life. It still looks like more like an overall situation, even though we have a Two of Cups here. It just feels like this situation is done with. Whereas you get the Hanged Man from the other side, which means like by you not wanting to invest and being romantic almost about it or not seeing anything in this situation anymore other than wanting to move on, you almost leave the other side in limbo, even though they kind of reflect that energy, like I am not in this. And then there is this very clear communication coming up. The Eight of Swords in reverse. So you're tired of being in fear and you just want to address to, it feels like at the back of your mind, you've been almost drowning in your fears and worries, and now you want to enlighten them by very clear and straightforward communication. And the other side is also not willing to wait anymore or procrastinate any further. So it really looks like you're moving on from something. It's a very clear, consistent message in here. And then there's this, after this very clear communication, where you probably also address some of your worries and fears and just, air them into the mind, into the spoken physical world. And the other person is also losing their patience and wanting to have this sort of conversation, which is certainly a difficult conversation, but not too difficult. So after that, you need a phase of peace and rest, where you also see like, I really can't enjoy my life as long as this is in my life. And also the other side is like, I'm conflicted. So it seems like it's a difficult conversation that's coming up, and it leaves all parties in a state of not depression, but it's certainly not a lot of fun. It's like you just realize I cannot enjoy my life unless this is out of my life. So I want to retreat for now, but I realize I need to move on. And the other person or situation, I still feel like it seems to be an entire situation and a life phase almost that is like, shall I stay or shall I go? It's very obvious also for the other party or the other side that this needs to move on, but there seem to be doubts. It was very clear, like, I'm not fooling around anymore. I'm not going to give this any more of my love. I need to see this from a different perspective. I don't have any patience anymore. And here it's more like, well, wait a minute, is there something that we haven't talked about? So everyone just after retreating into their own sort of corner, there's the Page of Swords, which is meaning like there is an open conversation. It's not going to be nice, but it's about finding out the truth of the matter. So it seems like something needs to be resolved, which is not quite clear what it is. I do not believe it could be a relationship that was long overdue to be resolved. You come in exactly with the same energy, like Page of Swords, Knight of Swords. Now you're aligned with yourself, like, I want to address this matter and we regulate this. So love doesn't even seem to be the matter anymore. It looks like this is a divorce, and this is really like the last sort of, okay, when is the transporter coming and when are you taking your furniture sort of conversations. This is beyond the emotions. You are coming to the practicalities and really resolving this. But here you're aligned. After this phase of retreating, you now want to address certain things. And now I'm also getting this energy again where suddenly you're aligned. So it seems like now you're moving on into the future. You don't want to address this old matter anymore. You want to move on into something new, something that makes you happy again. And yes, it is being reciprocated with the Ace of Wands. You have a very young, playful, and passionate voice coming back to you. It feels like a new energy. It feels like it's not the same person, the same situation. You have resolved this here. And you're very clearly, with clear, open-minded conversations, moving towards another energy that welcomes you with a lot of passion and vigor almost. And then there is this cup of Ace of Cups. Here you are with the King of Swords in reverse. Whereas the other party is the Page of Swords. Can you see those? Yes. So the Page of Swords and Page of Wands in reverse. So it almost, let me make sense of this. So this was very clear. You addressed something clearly and very passionate. Someone else came towards you. Now there's this cup of love extended. There's this opportunity for love. It almost is like, okay, this is resolved, and now let's move on into the new future. There was this other person I saw, and then you very matter-of-factly move towards them. They very happily and passionately respond to that, and suddenly there is the opportunity of love, and you go head over heels, almost like okay, then don't use any brains. This clearly can't be any good. And then you almost like you're turning your head upside down, sort of, and say like, let's just go with the emotions without any brains. Whereas the other energy suddenly is in almost like torn along with you into, oh, I was so passionate and joyful, but now let me reevaluate, because I also didn't expect love and feelings here. It feels like these energies here, they're being addressed, and now taken into the emotional, everyone just flips on their heads. It's like, this is not what we wanted. This is real love. No, this is. So you both stay in the same sort of energy, but more like suddenly both pushing the brakes, since you realize there are feelings involved, like romantic feelings. And then you both hit the brakes and you turn into the Page of Pentacles. It's almost like extending an offer. Okay, so it's not an offer of communication. It's not necessarily an offer of deep, passionate love. Let's make it into something like, combine the two almost, like make it into something that actually could have the potential of a stable and offer of a relationship. And yes, exactly. You come in with a judgment, and the other person with the Eight of Cups in reverse. Just, no, I'm not walking away from this if you come this. So it's interesting. It's like you almost fell into this within a random conversation that ended suddenly in love, and then you both went totally crazy. Coming back to your senses, it's like, oh, there seems to be something between us. Let's have it stand on stable feet. And you clearly use your judgment, and the Page of Pentacles saying like, okay, don't go crazy over this, don't go weird over this, let's go slow. And the other person says like, that's a good idea, I'm not retreating from this, I want to go towards this and want to see what this is about, what you have to offer. So now you're talking from very grounded places about what's going to happen between the two of you. And then we come into the King of Pentacles, which seems like this energy of stability, of something that valuable to grow, is actually growing even further and very quickly from a page to a king. But there again, you have the Queen of Swords, which is almost a repetition of the King of Swords. Now from an almost more mature place, you feel like, but don't we need to question this? I feel like it almost feels like you feel like it's too early after this moving on sort of energy. And the other person is totally in. It's like, if I don't walk away from it, I see my 10 of Cups there with you. So this seems more like a processing of your, wait a minute, I just very determinedly moved on from something else. That was a bit nasty, but then I just more like as some sort of test to myself, ventured out, found something really interesting, and I almost messed it up with being too emotional and out of stability, went into stability, really liking this, and now I'm not quite sure. I mean, it looks almost too good to be true. Whereas the other person is totally in, like, yeah, this is my happily ever after. Like, I'm gonna be cared for, uh, and this is my 10 of Cups. This is my ultimate happiness. I'm totally on board with you because I'm happy with this. And you are just I feel like it's like a hiccup. You just want to make sure you're not making a mistake. And let's see what the universe has to say to this. Sorry, I have to take this in the reverse because I took it in the reverse. It's the Queen of Swords in the reverse again. So it's probably the same message. Then the Ace of Wands. So there is a lot of passion as well. And then the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Which basically translates in what we've been, it just repeats the same energies again. You have your doubts about something that very suddenly and very passionately erupted almost, and there is this fear that this might go wrong, but actually it doesn't look as if. It looks actually really healthy because you recognized instantly there was this moment of, let's move in and be harsh about it. Almost not harsh, but you were very mind focused in the head. And then you realized that and came into almost in this very emotional state, which is lovely, but was clearly too emotional. And then you went into something stable, and this is exactly reflected here. So it looks like you found someone new really quickly and abruptly, and it just went all too fast, but it seems to be coming onto stable feet here, which is really lovely, Libra. So I'm really curious how this will evolve. So I hope you like this reading, and please like, share and subscribe, and see you next time. Thank you.